it's like a big puzzle, and you've got to try and make it work. So 3.5 months for the first one.
All right, can you hear me? All right, let me get another question for you. Thanks for the answer. Go ahead.
What is the most unique feature you ever put into a home?
All right, that was Jacob. He wants to know, what is the most unique feature you've ever put into one of your homes?
Well, Jacob, one of the features that we did that was pretty fun is a lady wanted a bathtub, and so we took if you can believe it, a horse trough, a watering trough, and turned it into a bathtub, and it actually worked out really well. In fact, I could fit my big rear end in it, and I'm 6'3", 290 pounds. And it looked cool, and we did some funky plumbing with it, so that it turned out pretty neat. And I'm going to send Mr. Bellows some photos after that you all can take a look at and get a feel for some of these features that we did. We also did another one, Jake, where we did exposed beams in the rafters, and it gave it really a cool look. And that's something that turned out really well. But we really try and push the envelope architecturally. I've got one that I'm getting ready to build for a lady in Austin, Texas, and it's got a rooftop deck on it. So we do some funky stuff.
Awesome. Hang on a second. Somebody else. Kayla.
Has he built one for himself? Like he sells them?
So that was Kayla, and she asked, have you built one for yourself?
Well, I have two, Kayla, in my shop that we keep all the time that we use for shows. So an interesting story with that is my wife kept telling me, she said, babe, what do you think? Should we do this for ourselves? Well, in that context, I got a late start in life. I turned 50 years old earlier this year. I've got a 7-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old. And I told my wife, I said, there's no way we could do that. I said, honey, we'd have to like each other like we did when we were dating, because we couldn't be in that confined of a space. And so she kind of acquiesced and said, okay, it'd be a nice idea. But yeah, I have two that I retain at all times at shop.
Cool. All right, hang on a second. Somebody else. Robert.
If it moves, how do you hook up water?
Okay. So he said if it moves, this is Robert asking the question, if it moves, how do you hook up the water and all that kind of stuff?
Robert, a couple things that we can do is we can do a standard RV hookup for a water source, a culinary water source, like you'd see in an RV where it's just a hose bib that goes on there and you attach it and you have potable or culinary water for drinking. The other option that we have is that we can do storage tanks, onboard storage tanks, and we build those right into the unit, and then we'll design the architecture of the interior around those, and then we'll actually use bilge pumps that you get in boats to pump the water from the tanks throughout the house. So we can do some fun stuff that way. We also, as another interesting feature that we did on one that we just completed, I designed a rain catchment system on the roof of one. So we built a parapet, which meant there was a 3-inch depression on the top of the roof, and then there was a rim all the way around it. And then it had a drain that went down to the front where she could run a water filtration system on it. And so you wouldn't think that a 3-inch depth would accumulate that much water, but based on the area of the roof, it equates to 299 gallons of water, the potential to collect that at any given time. So there's some fun things that you can do with little space. You can really maximize the efficiency.
1 second. Go ahead.
What's the biggest tiny house?
All right. Natalie wants to know, what is the largest or biggest tiny house you've ever built?
Right now, it currently sits at 24 feet in length. I've designed some for some clients that haven't pulled the trigger yet that are in the 36-foot range. And most of the ones that we do are between 20 and 24 feet. It seems to be the easiest for people to navigate with a vehicle. You start getting over 30 feet, and it gets a little tricky and dicey. And when you start running into divots in roads and things like that, or you're trying to park it or make a turn where there's a drain field, then it gets a little tough. So most people stay between 20 and 24, but we have designed some up to 36.
Cool. All right, hang on a second. Anybody else? Go ahead, Josh.
What's the smallest?
Oh, so the next question from Josh is, what's the smallest you've made?
Josh, actually, the smallest that we've made is a 20-footer. Like I said, the range for us is 20 to 24 right now. That seems to be the sweet spot. But we've got some designs for some 12-footers. And one of the areas that we're looking to get into here in the next 12 to 18 months is doing units for tailgating, custom tailgating units. And I know Michigan's a big football state, and these would work great in an area like that where it gets cold in the fall and late fall, and then early fall and late summer it's still quite hot and humid. So these units would be great, and we can customize them. But 12 feet on those is something that we've designed where we can go down to and still do some fun stuff. But once you get smaller than 12, in my opinion, it's not real functional. Then it's just showing off.
All right, 1 second. Derek? Oh. Before I ask Derek's question, I just want to say go green. I don't know if you're a Michigan fan or not, but yeah, I'm a state fan. Anyway, Derek said, what did you say again?
Yeah, love it. Frustrating.
All right, yeah, what does it ever get frustrating?
Yeah, it does get frustrating. One of the things that there's kind of I don't know how much y'all have looked at the tiny house movement, but there's kind of this vibe with it that it's really collegial. It's this kind of kumbaya, tree hugger, everyone loves everyone kind of deal. And what I quickly learned is that that's neat on the surface, but when you're starting to exchange tens of thousands of dollars for these units, it becomes just like every other transaction. And so it's forced me to rethink in how we structure our business, and I had a long meeting with my attorney the other day, and just revamping our contracts, bolstering those, and there's some issues that you have to really address and treat it almost like a residential transaction. I mean, tiny homes really, the long and short of it is it's real estate on roller skates, and that's what we're looking at. You have to have good contracts. You have to clearly spell out the expectations of the client as well as the tiny home builder, and that helps to alleviate probably 90% of the frustration. The other piece that gets frustrating is there's two primary issues that are facing tiny homes right now, and one is where do you put them, and the second is how do you finance them. Banks aren't real crazy about financing them, and local cities or municipalities at this point aren't crazy of having them be on residential lots. So that part has been a frustrating challenge. Once those two items are solved, then you will see the tiny house market explode. I mean, literally, it will go crazy. It is right now, but with those two big handcuffs, it's tempering the growth some.
Okay, 1 second. Tim?
Will you ever build a tiny house that you're going to get pulled by a semi?
Tim asked, will you ever build a tiny house that has to be pulled by a semi?
Yeah, I think that's reasonable, Tim. They get real heavy. The average weight on ours per linear foot is about 475 pounds. So that just means if you stick a ruler out for every foot, you've got about almost 500 pounds of weight. And so it's easy to start approaching 6-7 tons of weight on these in a hurry. So to get to the point where we would need to have it pulled by a semi, if we're starting to exceed 30 feet, which is doable, then we're going to start getting into that realm.
Awesome. Hey, I've got a question. Actually, two. So you were talking about building those things for tailgates and stuff like that. And I know a lot of companies sell plans and so forth. Are you guys? I don't think I saw that on your website. Do you sell tiny house plans?
No, and there's a couple of reasons why. Because I'm not smart enough to use a CAD system yet. So all my stuff is I hand draw it. And so the plans at this point wouldn't be probably wouldn't be up to snuff for anyone else other than my guys. The designs look great, but I have to say, do this whatchamacallit with the thing over here and the this and the that, and they're not, I wouldn't categorize them as really strong technical documents that we could market. And the other thing is, because all of our work is custom, we kind of hold on to those designs as proprietary for for the customer, so that they feel that they have a one-of-a-kind product versus just selling it in bulk. But it's something that we'd clearly look at in the future. I don't have the skill sets personally to do that kind of design yet, and I haven't hired someone to translate what I designed yet. So I'm open to it. We just don't do it yet.
Cool, thanks. And I think there's probably enough time for one more question. And my question is to you, because one of the things I like to do is travel, is, having this business, has this given you the opportunity to do some traveling and go outside of Utah, etc.?
We've done some. We most of it's been local. We'll go up to places like Park City, where they have the Sundance Film Festival. We'll go to Salt Lake City, which is south of here. I literally, my backyard is right on the Rocky Mountains. So if I look out, I see the mountains in my backyard. So in the Intermountain West, there's lots of little enclaves, either up in the upper valleys, what they call it, or down where I live in the lower valley. And so we'll do that. I've been to Denver. I've been to a number of different places locally or regionally, but I think that that's getting ready to expand even more as the company is becoming more prominent on a regional and national level, as well as just the volume of sales that we're doing. So yeah, we do some traveling.
All right, one more question. So we're going to be building one of these real soon. What is the best piece of advice you could give us as we start our build?
I think the best piece of advice would be, if you're going to do it, and go all in. Have fun with it. Understand and recognize that you're going to get on each other's nerves. You're going to see the person next to you and you're going to go, that person, excuse my language, is a pain in the ass and I'm tired of it. But you know what? Go through the entire process. You're going to have fun with it. You're going to learn. You're going to be exposed to some cool ideas. And there's opportunity for those of you who want to take this to the next level. I've been in selling homes and dwellings and commercial buildings and development for a quarter of a century. And this is a building genre that's not going away. It's only gaining momentum. And for those of you who are involved in engineering and architecture, in design, in interior design, in woodworking, in sales, in business, in accounting, and marketing, there is a place for any of you if you wanted to in this. And it is an opportunity that is just burgeoning with possibilities. And so to get into this particular type of building, I'd say go for it, all in, and have fun. Enjoy the process.
All right, well, thank you so much, Stu, for taking the time out of your day to meet with us today, and we really appreciate it, and we'll probably be in contact with you again.
Good. Best of luck to all of you. Good seeing you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Guys, you did awesome.
That was cool.
That was awesome. You made me proud. You missed it.